Welcome to the Walking Twat in Norway, where this time the Norway bit really isn't that relevant, except for how much it removes my credibility, because this is gonna be a fun philosophy one again. I really like those, but remember, I have no authority, no education really in philosophy in general, nor in religion, which is what this will mainly be about. I'm also horribly sleep deprived. It's 6 AM, I'm awake for about 2 hours now. So, yeah, these are mainly the rambling ravings of an idiot in Norway with no education on this really at all, who is absolutely sleep deprived. So, yeah, take that into consideration when listening to this. This isn't going to teach you something. This is going to give you an idea. And then you can decide how much, if anything, you're going to do with that idea. Because I'll be talking about the need for religion. Or, more exactly, why people need religion. Because if you ask most people these days what the most important part of religion is, they won't tell you something like where we came from. Religions love to explain where we came from, but that's not really their goal. It's not their most important part, not even close. The most important bit of religion, I also don't think, is the afterlife, though the afterlife helps in its actual purpose. Now, I think that if you ask most people what the most important part of religion is that it gives morals. The things like, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder. Of course, this is stuff that every civilization everywhere found out, so I guess that it's not really... There is no specific religion that teaches these morals. They all do. Although some have the caveat of, you are allowed to murder those who are not of your tribe, or you are allowed to murder those who are not of your religion, or stuff like that. You know, stuff that either keeps you alive, or that keeps your religion alive, because yeah, religions are also really good at making sure they survive. But like I said, every religion figured out that you shouldn't murder, you shouldn't steal, you shouldn't, you just shouldn't do bad things. Of course, what each religion defines as bad is different, which also makes it questionable, doesn't it? And just different parts of the same religion also seem to not be able to agree on that. But if every religion figured it out, and even people, I think, without religion figured that out, because, well, of course, as I believe it, people made religions. So people made those rules and put them in religion to enforce them. So why is religion needed for those morals? I believe that is because it adds objectivity. What makes it so that something bad is actually bad? Because obviously in my mind, well, there is no good or evil, there is no bad and good. It's all just things we ascribe to it. I mean, even for things that should be obvious. A knife that's blunt and a knife that's sharp. The sharp knife should obviously be better than the blunt knife. But why is that? Well, because it's more useful to us. But then it's just something we ascribe to it, isn't it? We say that a sharp knife is better than a blunt one. But there's nothing that actually makes a sharp knife better. Not in a objective sense. It's just that we decide that a sharp knife is better than a blunt one. And the same goes for murder. There is nothing that makes murder bad. Not in an objective sense. Do I believe that people shouldn't murder? Well, fucking obviously. I am not for killing anyone. And I'm going to use terms that I actually don't believe in, but I believe that murder is never good. The best murder can aspire to be is the lesser evil. If there's a case of someone is going to murder 10 people or you murder him, then you murdering him is not good. It's the lesser evil. Somebody still dies. That is still a bad thing. But there's nothing that actually makes it so. I personally came to that conclusion. And different people can come to different conclusions. And while you can argue for every position, there is nothing that makes it truly correct. There is nothing that makes something right or wrong. There is nothing that makes murder bad. And that also comes with the caveat of what's bad for one thing can be good for another. Just, you want super cynical? Here we go with super cynical. Murdering 10 people versus killing one person. Well, killing 10 people solves the overpopulation problem a lot more than killing one person. Yeah, that's worrying, isn't it? How easy it is to argue for more murder. One of Dan Brown's books had a way more humane way to solve the overpopulation issue, which I'm going to spoil the Inferno now. So, if you want to read that book, and I do recommend it, it's not his best. I personally think that the Da Vinci Code and now his last one, the one I talked about before, I completely forgot the name, but that they are better. But I do recommend the Inferno. But some kind of evil person makes, I think, 1/3 of all people on the planet infertile. They can't get kids anymore. You don't kill anyone, you just make it so that less kids can be born, which would solve the overpopulation issue, although it would filter out of humans very fast, because, well, survival of the fittest. Those who can get kids, and those kids will, if I remember correctly, be able to get kids again, so it's a huge bottleneck for one generation and then it's gone again. But yeah, in my mind, there is nothing that makes murder actually bad. And I think to a lot of people, that is worrying. People aren't all that comfortable with murder not being bad in an objective sense. But if the universe has a mind, then something bad is actually bad. It's not a point of discussion. No, you can just point at it. Look, this is the universe, and murder is bad. And that's also what the afterlife helps with. Because if you have something being objective, but that's all, you still don't have a lot. I mean, yes, you can now point towards something and say, look, this is actually bad. Without an afterlife, there is nothing that enforces it. Sure, you did something objectively bad, but there is no real result of that. An afterlife makes it so that, hey, you did bad, so now bad things will happen to you. Even if you get away with it in this life, you'll be punished for it later on. And of course, there are a lot of aspects as well to religion that are important, that are also reasons why people still hang on to it. People don't like that death would mean just the complete end of you. That's a scary thought. I believe that, and I think that is a scary thought. Just suddenly you stop existing. But I like existing. I don't want to stop existing. Believe me, if there is an afterlife, I'll be very happy. I think I'll be happier with hell than with non-existence, but sadly that does not make me believe in it. It's a comforting thought, but well, that doesn't make it true. It is nice to think that there is somebody looking over you. If you do good, that somebody is looking after you, so good things will happen to you. And even if they don't happen, that you can say, oh, but good things will come after I die. Those are nice thoughts, but, well, sadly, nice isn't evidence. Nice doesn't make something true. It would be nice if I wasn't dyslexic, but I'm still dyslexic. And of course, there is also the thing that religions like to make very simple to grasp origins for the universe. That's nice. It's nice to be able to understand the universe. Because I'll admit, how the real thing works, what's been proven by science, that's complicated. It's nice to say that the god poofed the world into existence, and that he made all the animals, and that he made us, and etc. But that's not what we find, but I understand the appeal. It's nice, it's simple, and it's nice to understand stuff, or at least to think you understand stuff. The problem is that being nice doesn't make it true. But I honestly believe that the core of religion, the most important thing of religion, is that it makes right actually right and wrong actually wrong. That it adds some objectivity to the world we live in. Right is right and wrong is wrong, because God says so. I honestly believe, at least in this very sleep-deprived state, that is the actual core of religion. To make right actually right. To make good actually good. To make evil actually evil. Obviously I don't believe it, but I do believe that is what religion has been built on. That is the core of religion. So, I hope that gives you some food for thought, because that's all my philosophy stuff can ever do. This has been Phoenix, saying farewell.